Howdy, it's tubalcain once again, and this is What Is It? Mystery Tool 15B, the answer. 15A was the question. Go back and look at that if you haven't seen it. But there were two items in this particular episode, number 15, and the first item was this. And many of you had the answer. It's not a cutting tool or a scraper, but it is a tool maker's knife edge, straight edge. And I'll put a still of this so you can read the description here. And these came in 3 lengths. Why you would want one only 2 1/4 long, I don't know, but this was the longest one, which is 6 1/4. And it's the number 580. Again, a very interesting cross section. And in addition to all of these shapes that you see, the actual knife edge itself has a radius on it. The purpose of this, of course, and is kept in a velvet lined case. It's highly precision, and you must be very careful to keep this guy away from tools like this, and there's one in every shop. It is meant to check to see how flat or how straight something is. He would hold it up to the light. I can't do that in this video, but I would hold it up to the fluorescent light and see if any light shone through there. I know this isn't a very true surface, but that's the purpose of a straight edge. And of course, they're available probably from other manufacturers in much larger sizes than this. And this is made of a hardened tool steel, and it has been seasoned. If you know what seasoning is, that means that it is allowed to set for a while to remove the stresses and strains. Now that's probably all done by some other process. So that's what this item is. A tool maker's knife edge, straight edge. And that information about the straight edge came out of this 1941 Brown & Sharpe tool catalog. And this was printed just shortly before Pearl Harbor. I paid $10 for this from my buddies at the screw machine shop, and that is going out of business now. If you haven't seen that video called The Dismantling or Disassembling of America, make sure you look at that. It was a very popular video, and it just talks about how we're losing our industry, and there's a real good demonstration in there on a Brown & Sharpe screw machine you might enjoy if you haven't seen that. I've got quite a few obscure tools coming up in this series, so continue to watch it, and I think I've got a couple that really nobody will get. Some of these have been way too easy, I know, or you guys are way too smart, or both. This is a Demagnetizer Ideal, and there's the product number, made up in Sycamore, Illinois. That's not too far from me. I go to steam shows up there at Sycamore. 110 volt, has a momentary switch. Listen now. You don't want to leave it on, I'm sure it would burn up. And the purpose of this is to demagnetize small tools and items that are in your shop. Because remember, magnetism can be your biggest friend or your worst enemy around a shop. So let's take a look at how that works. And I got a couple others to show you here too. This is one that I think you could buy at any hardware store. Made in Germany. And one side here will magnetize a tool such as a screwdriver, and the other hole here to demagnetize. You would just run your screwdriver or your item in there. Here's a little pile of steel washers, but you can use this both to magnetize or to demagnetize. So I'm going to magnetize this Williams screwdriver. By the way, I just got this screwdriver. You know, Williams, very high quality, expensive brand. I have never in my life seen a screwdriver that you could hang up. Normally we hang them up, you know, this way. This one could be hung from a hook. Pretty awesome. That's probably a $7 screwdriver. Brand new. Auction, of course. This came from the screw machine shop also. I bought 2 of these. They were just $5 each. I sent one to my brother and Cody. But holding the momentary switch and just putting your screwdriver on there, or just, it doesn't take very long, we've turned that into a magnet. Conversely, holding this on and swiping across, I have removed all magnetism, including residual magnetism, which can often be a problem when something lays around and touches another magnet or something that has some magnetism in it. So that's how that works. Very simple. Let me show you another one. I've had this one for a long time. This is actually a jeweler's demagnetizer. It would be used to demagnetize watches. And you know, you don't want a watch to get magnetized. I'm talking about the old kind with a, you know, a hairspring in it and all that. Nobody even has one of those. Have you noticed that young kids do not carry watches? They hardly know what one is, and they always they just look at their phone to find out the time. Okay, again, a momentary switch. You won't hear this one humming, but if I put the screwdriver in there, I have magnetized it. And if you pass that in there, don't touch the walls, I have demagnetized it. And by the way, when you put it in there, you feel quite a force, a vibration, a humming, the power. When I worked at Caterpillar about 10-12 years ago, and I wasn't there very long, for perhaps a year, we were making fuel injectors, and here's a little part out of a fuel injector, and these were made for Navistar and other companies too, and they were used, this particular one, in the Ford Power Stroke diesel engine, part of the injector. But these would pick up magnetism because they were run through grinders. This has been precision ground both inside and out, and it would get magnetized, and between operations you had to demagnetize them. So there were perhaps 1,000 of these that were put into a tray, something like this, a basket, and it would be run through the demagnetizer. Now the demagnetizer, of course, it had to be pretty big to fit this through. You could almost crawl through it. A small boy could crawl through it, and it had a timer on it so that you would turn it on and just slide that tray from one end to the other, and then it would go off, because you needed two hands to run your tray through there. So instead of a momentary switch, it was a momentary switch with a timer on it. But I like to take an item such as, you know, a piece of iron like this, and I would hold it in my hand and stick it in there, and the power that you would feel from that magnet or demagnet or whatever it was in there, it was just like, wow, there's this power. It was neat to do. And you know, I had been there a couple days, and I look at my watch. This was the night shift, and I'm there. Boy, time's passing slowly here, you know. It's 3 in the morning. I thought it was about time to quit, you know, and finally you hear the bell ring and everybody's leaving, and it was time to quit. It had caused my watch to run backwards, and it was a battery type watch. So the guys told me, oh, no, you take your watch off, put it in your pocket when you're around that thing. Don't get your watch anywhere near that. That's how powerful that magnet was at Caterpillar. Must have really made the old light meter spin. Okay, be sure and continue to watch my videos, and remember I have that first few videos ready to go on the Bridgeport mill, and that's enough on the demagnetizer and the Straightedge, and watch the next video here, which will be number 16. And if you go to my playlist, you'll be able to very quickly see all these videos if you're new to this, because there's a total of 30 videos now, which is 2 parts each. There's always an A and a B, a question and an answer, the question given, and then several weeks later the answer given. And feel free to comment, and thank you. There were some very good comments on this, and there's always some funny ones, and I appreciate those funny ones, so keep those coming in. And this is tubalcain saying so long for now.